We're live.
We made it.
We did. It was getting a little tight there. I'm like trying to get the kids situated and dinner done and all that stuff. This weekday thing is a new concept to us.
It's tough. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I like what
I
we did last time was Sunday.
yeah.
Last time I like
Yeah, we've been
okay.
doing them on Sundays.
Okay. We'll see.
So if anybody is on, I see a few people on there. Throw it in the comments, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
I'm excited for this one. Not necessarily because we're talking about this book, but anytime we get to hang out is fun.
I know it really is always just a good time. And again, like I always say, anytime you talk about books, it's always a great time.
Always a great time.
Hi, Em. Hi, Britt. Oh, I didn't know Britt was coming. This is exciting.
I'm excited for everyone to be here.
I know. This is great. This is exciting. I think I'm even more excited. Awesome sauce. This is going to be amazing.
Absolutely. And I know, I have faith that Ree will pop in here at some point towards the end. I know she's probably getting up.
She's getting ready for work. Actually, I think she's getting ready to like walk in the door any second now.
Oh,
So I think she's going to try and click on any second now. But I did send it to her. I let her know. She's like, I'm almost to
I
work.
forgot we started at 6 o'clock last time and now we started at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
she'll pop in. She'll say something.
Absolutely. I
I
know
have
she will.
faith in her. All right. Well, let's get this thing popping.
All right. Sounds good.
Even though I just dated myself by saying poppin', but whatever.
Hey, that was actually a good song, though.
We're so old. And I feel every bit of it today.
Yes. You will hear the kid in the background because everyone's home, just all in the space. So we'll just see how this goes today.
That's all right. This is non, formatted. We're just hanging out. I'm sure one of my kids will open the door even though I told him expressly not to. So, all right. Well, now we're all here. We're here to talk about this here book as soon as I find it. And wrong one. There we go.
Yes, it's
Spells
so
for
gorgeous.
Forgetting. It is
So
a great cover.
gorgeous.
She has all these starbursts on her covers all the time, and I always love them.
It just does something for the book. I don't know. It just does something.
It asked a question, one of the book club questions I read ahead, and it asked if we read any of her YA novels. Are the other books, like The Unmaking of June Farrell, are those YA novels?
I'm terrible with the different genres of stuff. I just like a book and I just pick it up. I never know if it's YA or teen, adult, anything. I just pick them up.
Oh, you know what? I bet you they're talking about that Fable series. That one is YA.
I didn't read that one.
It's got the young lady with the red hair on the cover. They're beautiful covers too. But I think
I
those are the
remember
ones.
seeing it.
And
I
then
remember
she's got
seeing it.
Unmaking of June Farrow.
I read
Sea of
that one.
Unspoken Things that just came out.
That one's on my list.
This one, and there's another one that's like this, I thought. Maybe not.
The only ones I know about was the June Farrow because I read that one last year. And then this one and then not the spells. We're doing spells for beginning. And then the other one. What's the other one? The Sea of
Sea of Unspoken
Unspoken.
Things.
Okay. They're all so kind of close.
They look kind of similar. The titles are kind of similar, but yeah.
It's like, wait, that one book. Because the Unspoken book, that one's also blue, right?
It is. It's like blue with like waves on the cover.
Okay.
Obviously a sea of unspoken things, but I mean, we'll get into it here, but I would definitely read another book from this author. I think I'm still excited. Uh,
What?
yeah, I
Caleb
don't think I'm
will read another one? What?
I'm not too put off by it. I think the writing was incredible. It was really good.
Mm.
Story was just, yeah, it was there.
I am really surprised. I thought this was gonna be one that you were just gonna say, "Nope, wasn't for me, DNF, couldn't do it."
I know I told you, just to be very transparent, everybody. I read this book yesterday. Um,
And I read it
listen,
at the beginning of the month, so this
and
is gonna be
Emily
good.
finished it right at the beginning. Like, listen, I wait because I read so many books. My brain's not going to remember any of the details, so I wait till the last second.
Yeah, this one I was so excited for that I actually read it, like, at the very beginning of the month, like, literally
Everybody was
very
really
beginning.
hyped for it.
Mhm.
Emily did the same thing, and I'm trying to. I don't know. Do you want to tackle the synopsis, or you want me to do it?
Yeah, I can tackle the synopsis.
Okay.
I have it in my, I put it up on my phone because 'cause I'm not gonna do it with my iPad. We're in a tough relationship right now because I really miss my Apple Pen, and life is very different without it.
Yeah, yeah, we were talking about that today.
Mhm. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into the synopsis of Spells for Forgetting. It is by Adrian Young, and it is a haunting, atmospheric novel blending mystery, romance, and magical realism. Set on a secluded, I I can never say the island. Swarsea? Isn't that like Swarsea?
Cheersa, Saoirse.
Sirsa. Sirsa Island. Oh man, I'm gonna mess it up. We'll just call it the island.
Yes.
The story follows Emery, whose life was forever changed when her best friend was murdered, and her childhood love, August Salt, was accused of the crime. Years later, August returns to to the island after his mother's death, stirring up long buried secrets and resentments. Emery, still tied to the island by her family, they have a tea shop, and the island's quiet magic is forced to confront the past she tried to forget. As the island's eerie, mystical elements come into play, the truth about what really happened that night slowly unravels. With lyrical prose and a richly woven setting, Spells for Forgetting explores themes of love, betrayal, fate, and the weight of memories that refuse to be buried.
There it is.
That's
Even
gorgeous.
even the synopsis is beautifully written. Like,
Mhm,
her writing is great, and that's why I didn't struggle to read it.
mhm,
I kept, I got insider information because I talked to you about it before I read it. I talked to Emily about it before I read it, and I'm not gonna
mhm.
lie, I was a little hesitant to get into this. I'm like, is this gonna be a waste of my time? I mean, I was excited for it because of the cover and really the title. Like, I was thinking we were gonna get like a practical magic or something like that where it's real magical. For a
Mhm.
book that has spells in the title, the magic is very subtle. It's not really prevalent in the story, and it's meant to be that way, but I was expecting a little bit more.
I think that's something that I really I told you he's in my face, so we're gonna make it work. It's actually something that I really did like about the book was how little the magic was there, but it was still very much there. I definitely like that part.
Yeah, they talked on it a few times, they hint at it and they have all these flashbacks and different stuff like that. I don't wanna get too
Mhm,
spoilery, but it it's there and it's
mhm.
woven into the fabric of the story. It's not truly magical realism because the magic is so subtle. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it is a I would put one of the tags that's not really on there. This is what I would call an ideal drama mystery. I
Ooh.
I think you get a thriller mystery. Those are like
Mhm.
pulse pounding, all that. This is a drama mystery where it's meant to be all about the relationships between the characters and
Mhm.
the setting and all of that. So there was a lot of that into it. And I don't tend to enjoy those as much because they are slow burns. But
Mhm.
she did her characters really well. And while I didn't love them all, I didn't really connect with a lot of them. I did feel that they were authentic and like real well done. So they were easy to read about.
And, I actually for this one, I tried to go along with the book and actually put, like, notes in how you could put the notes in Fable? I actually tried that this time, and the one character that resonated with me the most, what was her name? Doris? What was her name? Leota.
Leota, yeah.
Yeah, Leota.
I I'm
I'm
not
gonna
gonna lie
leave it
to
at
you.
Leota.
I definitely thought that I read it fast, okay? I definitely thought the 2 old people were the same
Mhm,
person until the very end. Um, I was like, "Wait a minute, I thought this lady was blind, and now she's talking about seeing." I did not realize they were 2 different
mhm.
people until the end of
Yeah,
the story.
because the one that was blind, wasn't that her grandma?
That
If
was
I remember c
the blind
or, like,
one
her
is
aunt?
her grandmother, and
Okay.
then the other one is, uh, Lily's grandmother.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I know. Oma, I think is what they called her.
I'm
Um,
gonna have to, like, really start writing, like, a character list for our book talks because I'm like, "Wait, who is that?" But I do remember Leota. Leota, August, Emery, the guy I
Jake,
didn't like.
yeah, what's his it starts with a D, doesn't it?
I didn't
Um,
like him.
yeah, he's an ASS.
I didn't like
I don't
him.
want our stream to get pulled for me saying the A word, so,
No, it has to stay friendly.
yeah. But, I mean, the book had, like, a ton of themes that I thought that usually resonate with me, like, this was a love story, but it was my kinda love story where it's, like, longing for each other and, there's a little bit of flirty stuff, but there's not, like it's not really spicy. There is one spice scene, but it's like a made for TV movie where they, like, lead up to it, and then they cut
Mhm,
to the
and then it goes
the
away,
time
yeah.
after. So, it was perfect about love. Lots of different dynamics of loyalty, like loyal to your love, loyal to your family, loyal to the island as a
The
whole.
orchard the
Exactly.
orchard, that was
Legacy.
a huge part. Mhm,
Well, that was a huge part where, who's gonna take this on and, the legacy of, the orchard was the lifeblood of the island and, you know, a family business is meant to be passed down and all those
mhm.
aspects. So, legacy, there was a lot to do with, like, abuse. I liked some of the notes that they did on abuse. What are you wowing me for, Emily? Details, don't just say, "Wow, Caleb." But, yeah, abuse. They talked a lot about, like, how he was abused and how the whole town basically knew and didn't do anything about it.
Mhm.
That was a
I
very
feel
interesting
like,
piece.
for me, that kinda gets the reality. What is it? Realism, I guess is the correct term. I guess more so that realism part of it that this stuff happens, but a lot of times it does get the blind eye. It's like where it's happening, but nobody does anything about it. And then even with the realism of the orchard, did we announce the family? I mean, the spoiler thing yet? Are we going into spoiler territory or?
No, we better hold off because we still gotta do ratings and other stuff, so don't get
Okay,
too deep.
so we'll wait on the spoiler. Okay, but just the legacy of the orchard and how family businesses and things, and like you said, it's usually expected for you to continue on. And I just like how it touched on those realism topics, I guess the best way to do it. So yes, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Emily says you confused the old people. You said you thought they were the same. That was your wow.
The audiobook had 8 different narrators for each of the main characters. 8. let me tell you, they all sounded like two different characters. There was the men and the women. I didn't realize there was 8 of them, and I just thought the
Mhm.
person was doing some really good voices. So that was good. It's a good audiobook.
And it's probably because you also read on, like, a level 3000, maybe?
It was a 3x because I was listen, go
Wow.
ahead and open that audiobook up and listen to it on one time. It's like somebody got a brain damage. Like it was so slow.
Oh my
Can't do
goodness.
that.
I don't know how you read on a level 3. I can hardly put my thoughts together at 1.3. That is a
Get
huge
used to
difference.
it.
I don't know.
I convinced Emily. She used to be like a 1.2, 1.3. I think I can get her up to like 1.5, 1.75. I don't
Mhm.
think she's broken too. I think she makes fun of me for that all the time.
I think it's more so like when I usually listen, especially when it's in the evening, I like to read along as I listen. So it's like completely, I guess they call it like the immersive reading, but like really
Yeah.
get comfy and all that. And you're just like listening and you're like flipping through pages. I don't know. It's just cozy. I can't go any higher than that.
I'm a slow reader with my eyes, and they say the immersive reading will actually train your brain to read faster when you do decide to read with your eyes. So I'm hoping the more I do that, I'm it's a shame how much I love books, but how slow I read. Mostly it's not like the actual physical speed, it's because I get
Hmm.
distracted so easy. I will
Yeah.
be like reading, and like I'll flip a couple pages like into it, and then I'm like, work. Oh man, let me work on this. I do coding all day, so I'm like, oh, that's what I need to do. And then I'm thinking about that, and it's an end from there.
Yeah. I will say that audiobooks allow me to read more. I wouldn't say they allow me to read faster, but they allow me to read more, especially if it's like, I don't want to say like a slower day at work, but maybe not so demanding. I can, find like while I'm working on a project, I can like listen to the book. But like when I'm home and I settle down for the evening, that's definitely when I pick up my book. But
And
physically reading a book,
if anybody
slower.
from work is on the page, she doesn't mean that.
Hey, they know I
As
do.
long as she getting her stuff done, it don't matter.
Exactly, it gets done.
I can't do because I do coding and stuff all day. I need
Mhm,
my full brain power. I cannot do audiobooks at work. My last job, I was able to do it because I was doing very mundane things.
mhm.
Uh, Britt, hey, I'm from work.
Sure is, and
That's
she
great.
listens to books.
Listen, my last coworker used to watch Netflix shows. She would just listen, but it would be
Uh-huh.
down there all the time. And I'm like, why do you have that on? You're not even watching it, but she's listening. That's all that she needs. That was her audiobook, Netflix.
Yeah, I can't do the Netflix, but I definitely can do the listening, and, hey, when you work in operations, it's just the easy thing to do.
Whatever you got to do to survive.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's talk about our ratings. For anybody who wants to put it in the chat, let us know what you rated your book. And I am going to kick it off.
Mhm.
I rated it a 3.5. And I think could it have been a 4? It could have. But I just didn't like when I get down to the end, I think I realize my ratings before I realize why I'm rating a book that way. And 3.5 definitely felt right. 4 felt like a stretch. 3 felt too harsh.
Mhm. I will say for me, I gave it a 4. I am a fan. I am definitely a fan. For me, it was it did have its slow moments, but from reading Young's work previously, I do know that they usually pay off in the end. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stick it through and, see what twist is going to be in there. So I did give it a 4.
And I saw Emily said 3, solid 3.
Solid 3. Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a different rating as well. Like to me, a 3 is a good book. A 2.5
Yes.
still a good book. It's just not a book that I'm like, I'm never gonna reread it, and I'm maybe not gonna recommend it super widely, but like a 3
Mhm.
still a good, or 2.5 still a good book. It's when you get into that 2 and below that I'm adamantly saying, "No, don't read this book."
I would say definitely 3 is I will recommend territory. 4, absolutely. 5, I can't stop thinking about it. So that's usually how I
Yeah.
go with my ratings.
I
Mhm.
think I'm the same way. The half stars help out because I think, like, sometimes, like, 3 is, like, right there at that good threshold. 3.5
Mhm.
means, like, it was pretty good, and, like, a 4 is, like, I really did love it. It still had a few things that I had trouble with. 4.5 is very much something that I'm like, it's near perfection. It's just missing a couple pieces, or maybe I had an issue with the characters or the writing or whatever. And then a 5 is like, I can't find flaw. I really can't. Even if there's flaw with the book, but I had such a good time. I think I
Mhm.
rated Taylor Adams. I think that's his name. Now I can't. It was the one with the author on the island. What was that one called? I got to go to my Goodreads because I read too many books. It came out in 2023, and it was, come on, The Last Word by Taylor Adams. It was absolutely bonkers. Okay, it was all over the place, and it wasn't particularly great in terms of like some of the reveals were kind of hokey, but I was having such a good time. I'm like 5 stars. I had a great time. Now, if I revisited it, probably wouldn't get a 5 star, but and people read it and they go, "You gave this a 5?" I'm like, "Did you have a good time? Don't be like that. If you had a good time, be nice."
I agree. Sometimes we get a little too harsh with spoilers. I think that's also a good thing about the community, though, because everyone has their own ratings for what they would rate the book. Somebody's 3 might be somebody else's 5. Somebody's 1 might be somebody else's 4. It's just all whoever is picking their stuff. I like it.
I've dealt with that a lot. One of my favorite booktubers, Kayla, loves really weird books. I like some weird, but she like 5 stars. She 5 stars them because they're weird and they resonate with her. And I'm usually turned off by them because they're weird. And so I end up like giving 1 or 2 stars. And she's just like top of the tier. All the things that I dislike, usually she's giving it a 5. I know that there's a great chance I'm not gonna love it. So, but we've aligned on a couple things. So you still watch, you still get the opinions of everybody. And even with um you and Ash or Emily giving them, middle ground rate. You were higher, she was lower. I still was hesitant, but I had a good time.
And see, that's what matters. You had a good time. Hi, mommy of 2. Who is mommy of 2? Hi.
Gonna have to somebody knows you.
Yes. Well, hello. I'm happy you're here.
I'm happy everyone is here. Now,
Yes, absolutely. Connie. Oh my gosh. That's so great.
this is awesome.
This is the bomb. This
I
is
could just
just
do this.
like
This is why we need to do the sprints, okay? Because I
we
want to
are
hang
going
out.
to do the sprints. I keep saying we just need to go right into the sprints after the live show.
I'm like, if it weren't a Thursday, you'd have me bought in on that one. But I am totally going. We're down for it. And of course, this weekend is the Super Bowl, so I'll be busy all day. But we're going to get sprints up. So everybody, stay tuned.
Yes,
I promise.
it's going to happen. It might be spur of the moment, but it's going to happen.
Correct. Well,
Mhm.
Connie, Britt, Emily, everybody else, we are going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, or if you
Still
don't mind
stay.
spoilers, I think
Still
some
stay.
people don't mind. I don't know that we're going to like, yeah, we'll probably give it all away. But um you could still enjoy the book. I don't think there were any reveals in here that weren't predictable, in my opinion.
No, I will say it definitely was.
Maybe one. We'll give it another minute for that. I plan on reading my book instead of watching this Super Bowl. What book are you reading? Because that matters. I will probably we just have it on. It's the crappy Super Bowl. It's a repeat. I'm really just watching for the Kendrick concert. Um
That's
and
usually
football.
the only time I watch it is for the halftime show and the
It's
commercials.
and the commercials have gone downhill because they release them days before, so you see them all
Mhm.
anyway.
Mhm.
Uh-oh, spicy book. She already knows. She warned me up front. She's like, "He doesn't like the spicy books." I don't,
Yes.
but however, Miss Emily does. So, give her all the Rex. We're here for it.
Yes. We are here.
All right. Let's get into this. So, we do have some questions that help us dive a little bit into the story itself. So we're gonna pop on a couple of those, and I think it's important to talk about the characters because I think they're the lifeblood of this story, like I said earlier. um
Mhm.
and the main characters, August and Emery. I don't know, what do you think about them?
Hmm. Well, August I felt August was very misunderstood. Just by I don't even know, like, Emery, main character, going about what she's doing. Sorry for the background. They're going through whatever they're going
It's
through. I don't know. It's all good. And then, August, like I said, I really think he was just misunderstood. One moment. Go ahead and go on yours, and I'll pick it back up.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I'm completely agree. August was the kind of person that I felt I could relate to. Um, Emery, I don't know. There was a lot of red herring in this story for the mystery that kept me guessing as to like who Emery even was. With a book called Spells for Forgetting, I figured, and I made this prediction pretty early, she was to blame for something. And then they cast a spell for her to forget, and the whole town was trying to protect her from finding out. That would have been a better story. I'm not gonna lie.
That actually does sound like a good story.
While it's still super tropey, I was expecting that. For a book called Spells for Forgetting, there is a line in here where the grandma goes, "There are no spells for forgetting." Well, then what the hell did we
Mhm.
call it the spells for forgetting for?
Yes. Why is it called that?
Because they wanted you, I think Ms. Young wanted you to think what I thought so that you didn't see it coming. Now,
Mhm.
as the story unfolded, it sort of made sense still, the story that it went with. I mean, the boyfriend's always bad. The one who snuck in there after the good one left, but the good
Mhm.
one left because, he made mistakes too. There's just a lot of that small town dynamics to it that made
Yes.
the characters feel really real. We are from a small town, but not like seaside small town.
Yeah, I will say Oberlin is nowhere near as close to this island.
It's very different. I want to be from Wellington's closer to this than Oberlin is. I think there's a lot of like community and togetherness in Oberlin that
Mhm.
maybe wouldn't isn't shown as much in here. Now the town definitely sticks up for itself. Um the island itself, and they're very loyal to their people. So that's one thing, but however, they seem to turn on each other pretty quickly.
And often too. It feels like pretty often. It seemed like every second you're like, "Well, wait, I thought they were cool. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? What's going on here?"
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on from the beginning where he's like, "Oh, the last time I saw this guy, he gave me a black eye or something like that." I think that's how it started. And I'm like, who's Jake?
Mhm.
Jake's the uncle and the
Mhm.
police officer, I guess we're gonna call him
Like
police
the
officer now.
sheriff.
The
He was
sheriff,
like the
yeah.
sheriff. Mhm. You know, with the
And
small towns, the sheriff is usually the one person that everybody knows and goes to.
yeah. All right, what did M say here? I think the drama. I was just wishing there was more magic and creepy suspense. Yeah, I agree. Uh, well,
Mhm.
not it. You know what? Now that you said that, it is so upsetting how real that comment is. I thought it had similar atmosphere to Twilight. It did.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh, nope,
it
there
did have
she
the
is. I
same kind
told
of
you she
vibe
was
to it.
coming.
She made it.
It wouldn't be a live show without Reed.
No, absolutely not.
So yeah, the characters were good, but you know what? I can picture this story, and it does. It looks like that blue tinted Twilight movie that all
Mhm.
the characters look like gray. It's always raining. You
Not
know,
gray and rainy. I don't even
I
think they
mean,
mentioned
they're
any
over there.
sunshine in this book, did they? Did they really mention, like, elements of sunshine or anything like that?
No, because on the Pacific Northwest, it literally rains like every second of every day.
I do remember her talking a lot about raining because there was, like, the umbrella. I remember something about going to a mailbox and picking something up, like a package or something.
Yeah.
I do remember that. So she did talk about, the raining and things like that.
Yeah, and there was a big connection to nature in this one. And I really enjoyed the connection to nature. I love those elements. And I think you could see as she got upset or excitable or whatever, the wind would come or the rain would lash or thunder would randomly strike. And I think that's where the the magic and the connection with the island comes really into play. I told you it's
Mhm.
very subtle and it's weaved in there, but it it wasn't bad. I just wanted more of it.
No. I feel like the biggest part of the magic we actually, like, got to get a part of was at the, like, it was almost towards the end, I wanna say, like, where
Yeah.
they were talking about, well, you had something from the sea or some anchor or something, she was saying the different pieces, she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, there is a spell for that," and then you're like, "Well, where was this the whole entire time before?" And then there was a mention of, like, earlier in the tea shop and how the book was an element that was they always talked about this family book, but that
Mhm.
was really the only part of it.
They talk about it a lot where they like as they said at one point, every family had a book of magic, but most people's books of magic aren't whole anymore. They ripped out all the dark magic and all of that. But the Blackwoods still had their full complete book. And so that was an interesting part that I wanted more of that. I wanted more of the spell book and like, to see it kind of take place and maybe see I knew there was going to be an element of magic in the murder because of how she died. But I just wanted to know, like, why is this not called spells for drowning? Like, that's what this should have been called. But
I will say that like, that for me was really a crazy part, like, how the end actually unfolded. I know we're not there yet, but just how I honestly, I was not expecting it to go the way that it went, and then when you found out, it was already over, and you're like, "Well, darn, I wanted a little bit more."
yeah, I definitely agree. And yes, Akani, you got to get to this book. Even though we're probably going to spoil it for you, it's not really going to spoil it. I think you can still have a great time with it because the writing is worth the listen, is worth the read. Her writing is really, really, really fantastic. You read some of her other books. Is there more magic prevalent in those other books, or are they not magic related at all?
For the June Farrell one, I wouldn't say magic, but it's time traveling.
Oh, oh,
Yes, so it's still right. So it has, like, a sense of magic necessarily, but it's not like a spell.
okay.
But
That's
I do really
interesting.
like I really do like it.
She Emily read it, and it's over here. I can see it from here. Um, I'm probably not going to get to it anytime soon because coming off of one slow burn to another slow burn just isn't going to work for me. But um, it it's probably something I'll eventually get around to, or maybe I'll go to the Sea of Unspoken Things, and me and Emily can read that, and you'll get to it eventually. I know you did. You get it from Book of the Month?
I did not get it for book of the month, but it is totally I'm like, momming right now. But I don't have I don't have the physical. I did not get it for the book of the month. I got some really other good books that we'll talk about later. But I did actually put it for like the additional book. So
Yeah.
I will add it on, but what I found for the other ones, I was like, no, this is it. I'm getting these two. But it
Yeah.
will be read. It's on my Kindle. I kind of bought it already on my Kindle like a while ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, she
June
gave
Farrell
it
was definitely
5
5 star.
Oh, not
Yeah.
the Addie
I
LaRue
think
com dang.
I think I gave it 5. I have to go back and look at my reviews because it was from last year, but I did get it. It got a pretty high ranking for me.
Brit's excited now too. I
It's
when
really
you said
good.
time travel, that's really interesting. I think that there can be with her writing, I think it could be really, really good. I could really enjoy that.
Mhm.
Now, how far back are we going?
Like
Same
really
read.
far.
Same, absolutely. Slow burns are tough for me. I can only take them a little bit by little bit.
And this is actually a very fun moment for me to recall on because I remember I told you in our very first podcast episode that I did not like slow burns. And you're like, hey, you just might, you just maybe haven't found what you like yet. And here I am. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is definitely a slow burn, but I like it.
It was slow burn in the way that it was methodical in the way that it was written, but it wasn't like
Mhm.
things weren't happening to keep you engaged. There are some
Right.
slow burns where you're just I've read books where if they're like science fiction and they get too science heavy, or if they're mystery. Oh, I read a book. It was a horror book, and it was all about like this haunted mountain. We're gonna call it that. But we spent too much time learning how to rock climb and like the different
Oh.
details of rock climbing, and that for me to just I DNF'd it because I was having a terrible time because I'm not ever going to rock climb or mountain climb. I'm not doing any of that. That's not for me. So I didn't want to hear about all the equipment, and I heard the word crevasse 1,000 times. It's it's a it's stupid. There've been other books where it's like the part where there's a split in between the mountain and there's a crevasse. It's a big open space. Anyways,
Hmm.
um, science fiction books, if they're talking about aliens, instead of saying their face, they say the word
Hmm.
carapace 1,000 times. I can't stand it. Just find another word for face.
Just say face.
Or yeah, exactly. Or just stop describing their faces. Just call it a maw or like you can come up with other words. We're good at this. We write. We can do this.
So I have a question for you. For this book, would you say that it is fast paced, slow paced, or appropriately paced?
Appropriately paced. That is true.
Okay.
It is not truly slow because there's not really a plot per se to
Mhm.
like we're getting a lot of the details from our flashback scenes. So it's not like something's currently going on. They're not on a race for time. It takes course over a few days. Um,
Mhm.
so it doesn't feel fast, but it's not slow. So
And
it is appropriately paced.
I will say for me, I felt like it needed to go over a longer span of time, if that makes sense. So yes, I will go with appropriately paced, but I feel like I wanted to know more about what was happening. And their flashbacks necessarily to what happened when you really don't I don't want to say pay attention, but when you're trying to do multiple things at once and you're like, but wait, did this just happen now? Or like you kind of can't tell sometimes when you're reading it. And you're like, well,
One
did
thing
that just happen? Or was that a past flashback?
I will say that their flashbacks were a little distinct because the characters that they were are so different from the characters that they are. So you could
Hmm.
kind of tell, number one, they were all friends and now they
Yeah.
aren't. So if
Yeah.
you're talking about hanging out and smoking a joint at the lighthouse, you assume it's a flashback because
Yeah.
while I'm not saying they don't still partake, they weren't hanging out and smoking. So,
Because we find out that was it Lily? Was her name Lily?
hmm
Okay. We find out that Lily is the one who is actually dead. And they're trying to figure out who killed Lily or how she died, I would say. We're
how
trying to
she
figure
died,
out.
and who
Yes.
and how, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
there's a element of mystery around it. Timing is all messed up. We know people have lied, but multiple people lied, um,
Mhm. But we're
and
not going to
because
say who did it. We're going to
we're
take a stance and we're going to say we're not going to say who did it. So we're going to get to that spoilery part, but not completely spoilery because, Connie, Britt, and Rashara, and, they haven't read yet. So,
yeah, I definitely think it's worth the read still. I
yes.
completely think, I don't want to take the full surprise. There is a reveal at the very end as well, very end, kind of very end,
Mhm.
that I actually wasn't foreseeing per se.
Mhm.
Some of the elements are, some of the elements aren't. So yeah, I don't want to take that away from anybody, including the
Yes.
people who are going to watch this after the recording. I still think 3.5 stars tells me you should still go read that book.
And I will say that anyone who is watching maybe after the fact of just how we're talking about it will probably just gravitate to like, hey, we got to read this book. Just how I don't know. I was a fan. I'm totally a fan. Like how
I-
you are probably with Mistborn. I'm a fan.
no, you're nowhere near that. Okay. I'm obsessed. That's
I gotta
different.
buy that book. I do have to buy that book. But I will say that every time I see a book for Adrienne Young, it is something that I have to read. Will I read Fable? Probably not. Because I
YA
like,
can be different. It's the characters.
yeah, I am finding that certain YA I'm not too interested in, but I do like the uniqueness of how Adrienne Young writes these books that we're talking about, like these more recent novels that she's writing. Whether it's, do we decide if it's adult or not? If it's adult
It is
fiction.
adult.
Okay. So I like how she puts her spin on the adult fiction.
I think the biggest separation, I actually did this in one of my recent reviews because I reviewed a YA book, and
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out why YA books tend to rub me just the wrong way, and it's the characters. Because the
Mm-hmm.
characters, and this is probably appropriate for the characters because young people are stupid, but we all thought we were invincible and we were
Mm-hmm.
overconfident and we just had that swag about everything. And that's how those characters come across, just arrogant, absolutely unlikable. Even the ones you do like are making stupid decisions that you're like, why? We're the ones telling you not to run into the basement, like,
Mm-hmm.
but that's coming from a place of, oh, I remember doing stupid stuff, and I can see myself doing that at that age. But this one, the characters are well done. We don't have that
Very.
issue. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when they do the flashback scenes, you can see some of that arrogance and like you just don't think about the repercussions, or you don't think about something 2 steps away. You're only thinking about right now.
And that is perfect for how the fire started.
Correct. Correct.
That is absolutely perfect for how the fire started. I'm just gonna say they did not care how it started. It was just like, it's gonna start. And then you're like, oh, well crap. That happened from my fire?
Yeah.
So
One
I'll
thing
leave it
they
at that.
didn't do a good job of explaining, or Caleb was listening too fast, but the dad, Emery's father, got injured in the fire, and they talk about
Yes.
the scars. I didn't know it was the fire. I'm like, what did he do to give this man scars?
Mhm.
Like, why is he unable to look at him? So it's just about the fire, and the fire was a huge ordeal, and he did get injured. Some other people got injured, but the fire is not the main problem. One thing I will say on how I liked the fire was it represented the only attack on the island, and since the island is a character, um,
Mhm.
because it's got that magic in its blood. The island is very much a character. It doesn't
Mhm.
influence any of the outcomes or any of the people, but there is that bit of magic there. And so when the island was attacked, like, you could see people's lives changed on the island.
Yeah, absolutely, because obviously August left. I think that was one of the biggest things of it. Lily did pass in this fire. So, it's a huge thing. And that's one thing also that there was some foreshadowing where I think it was like the island never forgets or something like that, or the island always has its secrets. And that was like very, very early in the book. And I remember actually writing that in Fable where I had put like, I quoted it. And I'm like, this is definitely going to be something. And for me, that was just like, I kept holding on to that the whole time, like something about this island, something about this island.
Yeah, there was a lot of foreshadowing in the book, and
Hmm.
I think that's what led me to some of my wild swings, but it also led me to lead to some of the more predictable reveals where I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, they're setting this up that way. Especially the flashbacks with them and the Book of Magic, like, it's setting it up. And But it was necessary. It's necessary to set it up, and it's okay for it to be a slam dunk reveal because it's coming, and that's okay. It
Hmm.
still added to how they were so, all four of them were so close knit. They were inseparable. And
Yeah.
now you look at them and they're completely shattered now. You've got, the two and the two, and then this one's gone and this one left, and now it's heartbroken, and these two are together. It's a triangle. It's a love
It
triangle,
was
but really
messy.
it was a love quadruple at some point, and it was messy.
It was messy. I was like, "But wait, what? What did I just read?"
There was a couple things where maybe they didn't need to go there. Um, but I think for the most part, everything made sense. I think that
Mhm,
bit of a quadruple thing where this person's in love with this person. These two are just absolutely in love, and no doubt about it. But this one loved
mhm.
this one, and this one loved that one, and they weren't communicating it. And isn't really that the
No.
downfall of every, like, love story is communication?
Mhm. And I think when I found out about, like, the reveal of I'll call it The Secret, I'll
Mhm.
call it that. When I found out the reveal of The Secret, I was like, "Well, wait, how and how?" I really did because I was like, "Well, how did they not know?" And that it was, like, a secret the whole time, but
Yeah, you get that a lot
it was
in, like,
wild.
contemporary romances, especially with, like, a
Mhm,
love triangle where he loves her but she loves someone else, or whatever the case may be,
mhm.
where you can see the subtle jealousy. This one was so far out of left field on anything where I was just like, "Wait, huh?"
Yeah, yeah. The way that it just pops in, you're like, "Well, wait, where'd that come from?"
But I wanna be clear, it's not like it was a last minute effort. Sometimes things feel like, "I gotta end this book. Let me put some stuff in here." That doesn't feel that way. It
Mhm.
feels genuine, but I just wasn't expecting it. And I think that's the telltale sign of a good writer.
Yes, and I will say, actually, while I was reading this, when I got to that reveal necessarily, I can remember myself saying, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
actually audible when you're reading it by yourself, and it's just like, "What?"
That was me with that YA book the other day. I was driving home, and if she had just said the truth out loud after being pressed
Mhm.
1,000 times, somebody was being hurt, being tortured basically,
Oh
and
gosh.
I literally was banging on the steering wheel like, "Just say it." And, oh, it was so annoying, but, like, you got a rise out of me, and that book still got a decent rating even with the problems with the characters. So, like,
Mhm,
if it elicits a response like that you have no choice but to scream at
mhm.
the screen, and in which case this be the book or the headphones, but
Yes.
that's a good book. That's a good writer.
Yes. It is a good book. It is one that will stick with you and one that you're like, "Hey, you gotta read it."
I definitely think these book talks and our book club in general, I will say
Mhm.
this, is giving me much more appreciation for the content that I'm reading. Like, I am paying more attention to my stories and the details and the characters, though
Mhm.
I cannot remember the asshole's name in this book. I cannot come up with it.
It did
So
start,
close.
was it like Drago, something?
It's not Drago, I'll tell you that, but it was something very similar. Like, yeah, please look it up because it's gonna drive me nuts.
I'm gonna
I
look it
don't
for
have the
my
book
Kindle.
anymore.
I have it on my Kindle.
Emily got the
Oh
book from the
gosh.
library and then she returned it. Because I was gonna do audio, but I'm like, I should have kept it a little longer so I could at least flip through the book.
It should still be downloaded on here because I don't think I returned it. I
I
am
would
getting
like
in the
to get
habit of trying to return some of my books.
I'd like to get the books physically for our book club, whether I like them or don't
Mhm.
like them, because I would like to do some highlighting and some annotations on our book club picks because I think that would
Okay.
really help me enjoy it.
I wanna actually, the book that's in Fable, I think one of the books, and it might be the one that we're on now, I might buy it just to kinda see what it's like to put those highlights and stuff in there, but I know you can't read it, like, on a Kindle. You have to read it,
Yeah,
like, I
it's really
think on your
annoying.
phone or something, and that's the part that I don't like because it's like, I wanna read Jade, you know? Jade and I have a relationship, and I wanna keep Jade.
Not Jade. Where's mine at? Mine's around here somewhere. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, look how pretty.
Just hold
Of
on.
course she's Jade. She's gorgeous.
I
Okay,
don't
so
have all
how
my
do I
I
find
don't have all the stickers and stuff like yours. Ours is very plain. However, it's still Kindle's a Kindle. It's upside down. There we go. I don't read on my Kindle as much as I wish I did.
Oh,
I
I do.
like to do more, um, but I don't. Emily Emily does more than me, but I think she's also wanting to get a little bit more, especially because it's easy to do the annotations or whatnot.
Mhm,
Again, I listen to so much.
mhm.
They got to find a way for me to like annotate while I'm listening.
Well, I told you you can do the clip, like, while you're listening, you can do, like, a clip while you're I mean, if you're driving, obviously, don't do that. You wanna drive
Exactly. If I'm
safely.
driving or, um,
Jacob. We were
no,
so
that's the
very
wrong
off.
one. No, that's the wrong
It's
one.
not Jacob? It's not
No,
Jacob?
Jacob is the uncle. He's the cop.
Oh, well, darn. Okay,
His name
hold
starts
on.
with a D. It's like Derek. No, it's not Derek. It's
It's definitely not a Derek.
this man's gonna drive me nuts. Emily, tell me what his name is. Why aren't you commenting? She read it a month ago too, and she doesn't remember.
Well,
Chat GPT
then,
to the rescue.
I will say, the fact Dutch.
Duh, that's it.
The fact that we cannot remember his name just goes to show how much we did not like him.
Nobody liked him. Nobody.
Nobody liked Dutch. He was
A- And
definitely
what's really sad,
ugh,
he wasn't he wasn't a bad guy. Like, he got a tough situation. He was definitely greedy.
mhm,
And I think there's a lot of characters in here that there's an element of like power and like the
mhm,
justice behind it where you think you deserve something else, whether that be somebody else's love or
yeah,
somebody else's um, you know, possessions or things like that.
mhm,
And he was the one who like symbolized hereditary greed. It was passed down to him through him that it was what he deserved. Everything was
mhm,
he wasn't greedy. He deserved those things. And so I definitely didn't like him, but he was well written because I didn't like him.
mhm. Now, do you think there would be a, part 2 for this one, a sequel?
No, I don't. I don't think that she does because the prologue,
Mhm,
or is it prologue? No, the epilogue definitely touches on like the story afterwards, and I see what you're saying and where they left it off, but I think that that's meant to
mhm.
be like a fade to black. what if, and then you don't get the what if. I think that's meant to be
Okay.
that kind of ending, and I kind of like it. I don't want to come back.
And see, the reason why I said that is because I pulled up the popular highlights for Kindle, the best part about a Kindle. And the one at the very end says, but there in the kitchen, almost 300 miles away, I could hear my grandmother's time worn voice recounting the oldest of the island's legends, because I'm not going to mess that up. That if you left the island, it would always call you back.
Yes, they said that quite a few times throughout it,
Hmm.
and at one point, August even says, "Yes, the island. I do feel the island calling me back here. There's a draw."
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
didn't think about it when I was on the main island, but now that I'm back, I feel it drawing me
Hmm.
in. And the island, you'll get used to it. It's Irish. It's Saoirse.
No, not going to do it.
It's if anybody has never seen Saoirse, it is spelled not like you think. Um, but I'm so used to that because there's an actress named Saoirse. So I'm
Hmm.
used to her, and she always talks about different names from Ireland that
Hmm.
just don't look at all the way they should. Um, but yeah, I really liked that element, and I think that helped with the audiobook because I got to hear them say it over and over and over again. So it's like
I
ingrained in
did
my brain.
listen to it, but me just reading it, I know I'm going to butcher it. So I attempted it once. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm going to call it
It's
the
like
island.
us trying to pronounce the A Little Life. Yana Anghangahara. I
Can you
get it
see
wrong
it?
every time.
It's right here.
You
You
have
see
it
it?
over there? Hold it up so
Yeah,
I can
right there.
read the name again.
These are the books that I want to read for the first quarter of the year. And we're already in February. And yeah, I'm not there yet.
What do we got? Yeah. Hanya Yangahara. But I will butcher it every single
Every
time
single
because it's
time.
in front of me. I do want to
Because I
get
always want to say it's Yana. But
Vickin.
it feels
Look at
but
that.
it feels good though. Like
Yeah,
this is
but how many pages?
comfortable.
Is that 550
Yeah,
pages?
I'm not going to tell you because you're just going to read it. I will tell you, however, Britt is actually reading this right now. She is reading this. And she's also reading Priory of the Orange Tree.
Oh gosh.
Hmm.
Um, there's another book by that author called Paradise.
I saw that. Hmm.
And I've heard really good things about this one, but all of my I love, you know what? You know who writes an incredible blurb for a book or review for a book? Victoria E. Schwab, V.E. Schwab, who wrote Addie LaRue.
Yes.
Her review for A Little Life was, Jesus Christ, I cried for an hour last night. This freaking book. She writes the best quotes ever.
It makes you really want to read it. And
That's
it's
my
like,
current
of course,
read bit.
yeah, I told you that's what she's reading. She's reading A Little Life right now. I told her I'm gonna try and catch up because I think I'm gonna move it up to February. Libby gave me a great gift 2 days ago. So
How many do you currently have out from Libby right now?
for my Libby, actually, you know what? It's not that bad because I started using Hoopla. So for
I've been
my
using
Libby,
Hoopla a
right?
little bit too.
I definitely am a fan of that one. For my Hoopla, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All borrowed right now?
Yeah.
Girl, you only get them for 21 days.
Well, I figure, well, a lot of them are the actual books. So the books I upload to my Kindle. So,
And then
I don't have to actually read those at that time. But as far as audiobooks, I have Ninth House because I told you we have to finish that one soon. Um, The Summer
you're
I
late,
Turned
Emily.
Pretty,
You already figured that out.
but that's okay. She still
That's
came
right.
through. Thanks,
She came.
M.
I think she might be a little behind. You got to speed up. You got to fast forward, Em.
And then okay, so I only have 4 audiobooks right now, and that's only because A Little Life just came through, and then Wisteria because I still haven't finished that yet.
Okay. I have 4 audiobooks on Libby right now, but I just finished one while I was cooking dinner.
Mhm.
Those Murderbot novellas are super short, so they only take me about an hour and a half to listen to, and I had like 20 minutes left. but I actually have The City of Glass by Nevo, who writes really beautiful prose, but because the prose is so high, it can get
Hmm.
really difficult for me to like get into it. So I
Okay.
was trying to read it physically, couldn't do it. So I waited 16 weeks for this book, and I
Oh my
finally
God.
got it on audiobook. It's short, it's only 6 hours,
Hmm.
and it's going to take me like 2.5. Um,
That's
but
because
I
you
also
read it so fast.
exactly. But that one might be one I have to slow down because of the prose. But I also
Now
have
for you.
book in
Okay.
Mistborn, so that's 29 hours. Nope. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say how many is on your Hoopla?
I only started. You know what I'm using Hoopla for is they have Brandon Sanderson Stormlight books on there,
Oh
so I've been
gosh.
using it exclusively for that. But I did find another one on there. I don't have anything currently borrowed on Hoopla because I finished it the other day. But
Hmm.
my Everrand, as of 2 days ago, my unlocks unlocked. So I have 3 unlocks, and I'm going to be getting the new TJ Klune book that I got physically. I'll be listening to that one.
Okay.
And Grady Hendrix, because I've been waiting a month and I can't get this audiobook for the life of me. And then I got a free one after that. So I'm not sure what. Oh, you know what? I already unlocked When the Moon Hatched. So I got to get to that so that I can catch up to you and Emily.
That one's not there. Uh-oh. Where is the moon hatch? When the moon hatch is in my bag over here. So that one I keep in my bag.
Shout out to Emily reading this month's book club pick already. She's
I
flying.
haven't started it yet. I haven't
She said
started
it's
it. I
so
do have
easy
it
to get through.
since the
There
shelf is
it is.
here. We might as well have it as, and I have tabs for it too. We're gonna tab it. We're tabbing it. Might as well announce our book for February. Beautiful Ugly. Alice Feeney. This book is gorgeous.
That's book one that we're going to be doing the live book discussion on. We'll be breaking down that one. However, we
Mhm.
did decide that we would do 2 books
Caleb
in
got his
February,
bonus read.
and they were both the thrillers.
Your bonus read.
Yeah, I was excited, and not everybody's going to read it. I was going to read that one anyways.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to get to it, even though I loved that author's. It's Jason Rekulik. I love that author's first book, and you liked it as well. But I don't know
Mhm.
if I don't know if it's gonna translate to this one. And he might have been a
Because it was hidden pictures.
yeah.
Mhm.
That was so good, and I don't know that this one's gonna hold up. I haven't seen like incredible reviews for it.
Mhm. See, I wanted Frozen River.
A lot of
That's
people
the one
did.
I
But
wanted.
I was gonna knock that out down. I don't want no historical stuff.
I wanted Frozen River. I
If
think
we
that
had
was
done
gonna be
that as the bonus read, I probably wouldn't have read it. Now, if it was the main winner, I would have read it.
everybody vote for Frozen River next month.
No, we're not putting it on there. It's been on there 2 months in a row. No, get it out of here.
I love how my pick won't make it, so I add it to the next one.
This is rigged.
We still haven't read All the Colors of the Dark yet.
I know that
It's
one
gonna make
stopped showing
it
up.
back on there.
But
It's
God of the
it's gonna
Woods
make
as
its way
well.
back. Yes. Maybe I'll add it for March's poll.
No, we got to have new books.
Yes. No, we can have God of the Woods. Nobody ready yet.
I do want to read God of the Woods because it was so highly rated by everybody who's been reading it. All of my friends on
So many
Goodreads, all that
lists.
stuff.
So many lists for all of the places was really huge on God of the Woods. It made a lot of what are those different lists like the Goodreads list?
Yeah, the books of the year.
Yeah, it was ranked pretty high, so it's on
Book
there.
of
I'll
the month.
probably read it closer to spring though. Spring or summer for me.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll get to it
Mhm.
this month because it's a short month and we're already a week into it, and I got so many other books. I currently have 20 books I think out from the library, and we just picked up 2 more holds yesterday. We me and Emily carry these books around like our emotional support animals. It's just a stack of books, and we carry them downstairs, and then we carry them upstairs. I know, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Go ahead and give that a sniff. No, it doesn't work. You got to open that
It is
page.
totally the same. You wanna know why it's the same? Because you guys may physically carry a stack of books, right? And this is how I am about my Kindle and the books, especially since I got the new Kindle. I gotta put that out there. For the books that I have on here, I have to my downloaded books, just alone, downloaded books, 321.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this is yes, downloaded books, 321.
That's insane.
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm. And I'm reading them too. That's the crazy part.
I know. I did an incredible, what was the number? 17 books? 17 books last month.
I you know how many I had?
I do, but I knew it, but I didn't know if you wanted to share that publicly. I know you're not happy about it, but it's okay. They're just numbers.
It's because of Iron Flame. It's
Yeah,
like you
finish that damn.
read, you read, you read, and then it seems like it takes forever to finish. But I will say I am happy, very, very happy to say that I am currently just gonna start reading it. I am 51% into the book.
That's you still have half to go. That book's too long.
But I'm still at 51%, and before I was at like 30. So within a couple of days' time, that's progress. It's gonna be finished in February. I'm gonna finish that one. I have 8 hours left on When the Moon Hatched. I am so close to being done, but I can only physically sit down and read that one because the details are amazing. Literally amazing. It just I have to just enjoy the journey while I read it. So, yeah.
The book talk is over, but we're hanging out here still.
Yes.
We'll have to get off in a bit to put the kids down for bed, but
Yeah, mine needs a
let's just
bath.
keep this thing going. I want to know. I know you read a lot of Black and African American literature, anyways,
Mhm.
but it's Black
Mhm.
History Month. I have a few very specific books I'm going to be reading. One you're making me read, and the other ones are ones that I wanted to read anyways. So, what do you got?
It's
Yes,
right
that
there.
one you're making
Yes.
me read.
Yes. Untethered, Angela Jackson Brown, our challenge read for the quarter. We decided we're doing quarters for that.
Yeah, but we're
Um,
gonna read it this month.
the other reads that I have, the brand new book that just came out, Harlem Rhapsody. I'm not gonna give names because I mess names, so you'll just remember to put them in the thing like you normally do. But Harlem Rhapsody, um, I have Good Dirt over here. I'm gonna be reading that one for February, and The Filling Station and The Real. The Real is not a historical fiction, but it's Kennedy Ryan, and I'm definitely gonna make sure that I'm gonna focus on those books this month. If
We
I
were
had my pen, I
watching,
could write them down, but I can't.
yeah, that damn Apple Pen. Um, we watched a Mel Reed's a booktuber, huge booktuber. She's wonderful from Panama. She
Mhm.
was doing a sleepover thing,
Those are
and
so awesome.
I know in that one she was reading Before I Let Go.
Oh, I love that book. I could read
And
that
I was
book
like,
every I could read it every month. That one and This Could Be Us and Loved by You. Those have to be probably like my top 3. They're just beautiful reads. Just beautiful works of art. Oh my gosh, I love them.
so I am picking up Go Tell It on the Mountain. It's probably backwards because it is. James
Ooh,
Baldwin.
okay.
I needed to get to this after reading Giovanni's Room. I fell in love with it, and I know they're going to be tough reads because he's a poet and
Mhm.
poets write high, but it's a short little 200 something page book, 250-ish page book, but I this is such a important book for Black literature. I had to pick it up. And I was at
Absolutely.
the library, and they have that section where you can be like, hey, just donate $1 if you see a book, take it, blah 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 blah. Well, they had Pet by Akwaeke Emezi, and
Oh,
this is there's a bit of horror, a bit of magical realism, a bit of social horror, we'll call it.
okay.
So many pieces, and I have not read. She also wrote The Death of Vivek Oji, and I really wanted to read that one, but I haven't gotten to it yet because it is super heavy. But
Okay.
I am going to read this one as well as Untethered. So those are my 3 books for February. This one
Okay.
shouldn't be too bad. I think this one's only 200 something pages. Less than 200 pages to get through Pet, and I
Okay.
think it's going to be that. Oh, I lied. There is one more book, but I don't know if I'm going to get it in February. I talked about it before. Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon.
Yeah, I put that on my Kindle.
He came out with a new book called Model
Ooh.
Home. Thanks, Emily. He came out with a. This is why I keep her around. She keeps me on track. I moved it to get my books and I forgot. He came out with a book called Model Home, and of course, it is a
Mhm.
horror book, but his horror is so much more like ingrained in the story that interwoven with things like race and motherhood and different things like that. River Solomon and Victor Lavelle, they're 2 of the best writers in the space doing it. Oh, and Tananarive.
I was just getting ready to say, if you're talking about that, then you just need to pick up The Reformatory and read it this month.
Whoa, 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 whoa! It's a
Yeah,
500 page
this
book.
month.
I can't read it this month. I can't.
You'll knock it out in a day. Listen to the audio. You'll be great.
I know. Well, I won't knock it out in a day. That's tough. Maybe on the weekend I could do it. But I do want to get to it. Maybe I will. Tananarive. Could you imagine Akwaeke Emezi, James Baldwin, River Solomon, and Tananarive? That is like the Black Power list that you could have in literature right now. They're
Yeah,
such strong, Black writers.
that would be awesome. You're gonna read The Reformatory. Just
I
letting you
am.
know, you're gonna read it this
You've
year.
got that. Yeah. Okay. I was hoping you weren't going to tag that on there. I am going to read it.
This year, it's happening.
I feel like it's a summer read. Didn't we talk about that?
It's Black History Month. You can read it this month.
I could read a lot of books this month. I don't know. I probably won't end up reading
August.
half the books.
I'll give you August.
I think that's a good one.
So how many months is August? 6 months?
6 months away?
Is August 6 months away? 8 months.
6
August
months
is the
away.
8th. So 6 months, yeah. You can get to it in August.
I also got a
Why
translated.
are we like this?
I don't know. I think Emily's coming upstairs. Also got a translated book called The Trial of Anna Thalberg. It's a witch, like a Salem witch trial kind of book.
Okay.
And I'm super excited that too soon for that
I
talk.
have I have a couple which ones? I don't want to say which, but like I have Wayward, if I'm saying it correctly. I have that one I want
Oh,
to
the one with
read
the green cover
in
and the bird on it?
I want to read
That could
that
be
one
good.
in March. And they're not related, but The Water Moon. I want to read The Water Moon next month. That one sounds amazing.
I have
It
it and I
reminds me of the
wanted to
coffee
read
shop. Reminds me of the coffee
it
shop.
before the coffee gets
Mhm.
cold.
Yep, Before the Coffee
Yeah.
Gets Cold. That book was beautiful. Oh my gosh, that book was beautiful.
I'm looking to read it. I cannot find it anywhere. So I am also
It's
looking to
Kindle
give that a look.
Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited
Is
is
it?
where I got it. And then you can listen to it on Spotify.
Well, I used up my Spotify hours on Spells for Forgetting because I couldn't find that damn book anywhere. So I'm done for Spotify.
It's so easy to go through Spotify. Like I'm telling you, it's really just one book. And you
It
gotta be
is.
careful because some books are longer than that. I did see,
That's how you
however,
got me.
the Amazon one, whatever their music, Amazon Music, they now have books on there. You get one free book. Well, technically it's not free, but you get one book,
With
one
your
listen
Prime
month.
membership?
Mm-hmm.
That's game changing. I didn't know
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I
So
don't use
maybe you
Amazon
can
Music
find.
for anything, but I will for
Nope.
that.
Use it for the book. You'll probably be able to get spells. Not spells. The coffee shop one before the coffee gets cold on there. Those are pretty
So
quick reads too.
what's really annoying is that they count the full time of the book and not if I listen to it at 3 times, it should count for 3
Mhm.
times less. But no, it counts for the whole book.
Yep, the total. Your whole entire listening. Yep.
Stupid.
This has
But
been so fun. This has
it
been
has.
awesome.
I think
Will we
when
do another weekday one?
I don't mind it. Maybe not. I don't know. Thursday's not bad, honestly,
Thursday's not bad.
because I work from home on Fridays, so I'm there's not as much pressure. However, we've learned that you maybe need to try and take a half day on these days, so you don't
Yeah.
get too caught up on because it is. I was literally while you were talking about some things, people were teamsing me because I'm online. I'm not online.
It's like, no, I'm not working right now. No.
But of course I responded because I am a sycophant, but um regardless, I'm a glutton for punishment and I just keep on doing the things I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
I think I might do a half a day. If we're gonna do the talks during the half day, granted, yes. Thanks, Connie. Yes. I think I'm gonna
Also, I
do
missed this one. She's Team Kindle.
yes, all the way Team Kindle. When Connie's Team Kindle too.
I have one. I just don't properly use it.
Then maybe you have to upgrade it because I will tell you, I gave a little snippet before on one of our lives about how fast it is. It is so much faster. I don't know what they did to these Kindles,
Which
but
one do you have?
the Paperwhite, the
So
brand
do
new
I.
Paperwhite that
The
just came
brand new
out.
one? It's that fast?
Oh my gosh, it's so fast.
Because this
Here,
one is freaking slow.
I will tell you, I actually took a video because Shara did not believe me when I told her. And she was like, "No way, you're kidding." Right?
I'd still be on the first one.
Yes. And then to open the book, so I opened the book. Do you see that? That is madness. Of course, this is all the Colors of the Dark,
Colors of
so
the
it's a long
Dark.
book.
Yeah. You better go
Yes.
back. You're getting too far ahead.
But it's so fast. And I'm like,
These were gifted to
everybody
us. So these were
everybody should
gifts.
just upgrade. So
If they
mhm,
bought this back and gave me, and I know they do, if they bought this back and gave a pretty good discount, I would
mhm.
be. What was it like 120?
Well, actually, I got this through a work program. I had
Hmm.
some points that I redeemed, and I got it for free. So it's
Well,
even
you suck.
better.
Let
I
me
was
go
thinking
on.
so hard too. It's not expensive though. This Kindle, the without no, with the ads, because I have the ads and they're not even that bad. Everybody
They're
talks
not.
about the
I
ads
don't
like they're
mind that.
terrible. I don't mind them at all. I kind of like them because they're tailored to me. So like this one is giving me Immortal. Um, but I like that it kind of makes me want to add more stuff to my list. But for this one was
135.
159,
Yeah, it's on sale
135.
right now for
Okay.
135.
Oh, that's even better.
And that's the
Or is that the
16.
regular Kindle? Is
No,
that the
that's the
regular Kindle?
Kindle Paperwhite, our fastest Kindle ever.
It really is. It really is. I don't know what they did to turn up and change their technology or whatever, but it's definitely a huge upgrade from the previous one. And the one I had before was a 2018. So it was an older one. Mhm.
I'm not rushing to get it because
Mhm.
I always spend money on other people, and if I get one and I get it during Emily's birthday month, you guys, I won't be here next month. She will end me. So, yeah.
Spotlight points for the win. Absolutely.
We don't have anything like that where I work, but I'm
I
sad.
will give you a bit of fun. Miss Connie Yes, where you work. We're not gonna put names out there, but
Where,
where you work, Connie, also where you work. She used to work there.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
As I'm like, we're not gonna put names because obviously we need to keep our source of income,
Yeah,
but
I'm not losing my job. I
no,
love this, and this is a passion project, but I can't lose my actual project. So,
absolutely not. No, no. But yes,
I-
Connie as well. Mhm.
nothing bad to say for the record about my place. Just we ain't gonna say where I work because I don't
Nope.
need y'all.
Mm-mm. Don't come
Mm-mm.
find me.
You don't need to know. No,
We'll just let it be known.
I'm not putting that one on there. You can read that comment privately.
Oh, I love it.
This was
This
so
has
much
been
fun.
fun. This was. I think we're gonna have to keep this going. I like our book talks, just hanging out. We are definitely going to do a live sprint. We're gonna do live reading sometime this month. It is happening.
I think we should pick a slower day during the week in the evening,
Mhm.
9:00.
And we can even try weekend too.
Yeah, weekends just get goofy with me just because sometimes I'm not home till late, but
Mhm.
Sundays would be a good time.
So
But
we will say we will have a Sunday. I don't know which one, but we will have a Sunday, a live reading sprint. And then we will also do one during the week.
yeah, I think the one during the week we could
Okay.
probably do sooner.
Okay.
The next 2 Sundays are like this upcoming Sunday is Super Bowl, and
Mhm.
then next Sunday is Emily's birthday, y'all. She's gonna be
Happy
22.
early birthday.
Um, yeah, so if I try to get on sprints at 9:00 on her birthday, again, y'all, I won't be here.
No,
I know my
absolutely
place,
not.
but
I
maybe
love it.
Tuesday or something like that next week. So we'll talk offline and we'll set something.
Yes. And I'll make sure that we post it in all the places. We'll put it in book club. And even if you're not reading the book club book, just come and hang out. Read whatever you want. Maybe just come for the vibes. Maybe we'll have like some music or something going. It'll be all right.
Yeah. We can
Music
set
and
Pomodoro
snacks.
up and yeah, just hang out with us. We'll talk for a bit. We'll do a sprint. We'll talk for a bit. We'll do a sprint. So look for that.
Sounds good.
Wholeheartedly, I want to say thank you to everybody. This is our most successful book talk
Yes.
so
It's so
far.
exciting.
It's just going to go from here. So I'm super excited. Thank you all for coming, and we'll talk to you next time.
Happy reading. Thanks.